Alright, this is my informative speech for Dr. Woodell's Comms 100 course. My name is Brian Fabian. Let's get started. Alright, so what if there was something you could do to your car that is easy maintenance and prevents so much problems in the near future for your car? So for all my car owners, there is a simple thing that you could do, which is an oil change for your own car that is going to save you money, time, and a lot of trips to the future to the mechanic. Now, you may be asking, why should you go do your own oil change? Well, for starters, that's how you figure out how to do your own things and slowly start working on your own car. Second, you know what is going inside your car, what type of oil, what oil filter they use. Instead of going to a quick shop that they do oil changes for like 20 bucks or 30, you know exactly what oil filters and oil you are putting in your car when you do it on your own. Now, what are the things that you're going to need to do? Well, for starters, you're going to need oil, the correct oil you need. You can easily find out what oil you can use on the owner's manual of your vehicle. It tells you right there. An oil filter, these you usually can ask somebody who works at the auto parts store, and they'll have some in stock for you. You would need, a torque wrench, ramp, something to lift up the car, and a flat surface where you could park the vehicle, and lastly a drain pan, so get all the old oil from your vehicle. Now, oil changes are a useful skill that anybody can learn. I have been doing my own oil changes ever since I owned my first car, which was a BMW. Well, now I own a Subaru, but doing your own oil changes is something really helpful that is beneficial on you and just makes you feel good because you know what's going on inside your car. Now, the first step to do an oil change is have the car parked in a flat surface so all the oil in the oil pan can be flat, so whenever you drain it, the old oil, it all flows out instead of being one-sided or a little too forward, so all the oil can come out. Second, you would have to lift up the car either with a ramp or jacks, whichever is preferred. Second, now that you have the car lifted up, you get the torque and you find a little drain plug that's on the drain on the oil pan under the car, and you unscrew it and let all the old oil get flowed into the oil drain pan. In the meantime, while that's draining, you could find the oil filter place where the oil filter is located, whether being on the top of the vehicle or under, depending on which make and model car you have. You unscrew it. Usually it's hand tightened, so you can easily untwist it by the hand. But if it's too tight, they sell a little machine that helps you untwist the oil filter. Now, you get the old oil filter and you put it onto the drain pan also, so you can get that all recycled later on to the auto parts store. Now, what you do is get your new oil filter, replace it to the new one. Now, when you buy an oil filter, there's this little O-ring. It is really important that you lubricate this with either the old or new oil, so when you twist it back on, it doesn't go in dry and it doesn't easily rip. It's important to wet this with oil because it helps secure it and lock it instead of easily breaking. Now that all the oil from the old oil has been drained, you put back in the drain plug. You twist it correctly. Don't torque it too much, because if you torque it too much, it'll ungrip and it can easily damage the vehicle. Now, you get the new oil, you fill it up in the top of the car at the engine to the correct amount. This fills up like 5 quarts depending on how much you need. You won't need all of it. Then you just close again the oil on top of the vehicle, and you turn on the car and let it run for a bit so it can circulate all the new oil all over the car. Once all the new oil has been easily circulated, you check the dipstick to see that you have the correct amount, and if you do, you've successfully changed your own oil, which is really helpful. Now, in conclusion, oil changes are perceived to be a difficult and troublesome procedure. Many people are scared that they're going to mess up their car because they don't know how to do it, but it's really easy and not that hard to do, and you save so much money in not overpaying for an oil change at a dealership, or at auto mechanic. And oil changes can increase the lifespan of your engine and keeping it at the most peak condition of the car. Anyone who owns a vehicle can easily do their own oil changes. So I hope this explanation helped you and you're able to one day change your own oil instead of paying too much for an oil change and learning how to do it on your own. Thank you very much and have a nice day.